Oh, what have you done?
I just touched it. It's hollow.
It's hollow. Welcome back. So last week we spent some time redoing this window, sanding it down and giving it a lick of paint. It wasn't just a simple case of giving it a light sand down and a lick of paint that I initially thought it was going to be. We had to do lime pointing and it was quite a lot of stripping back we had to do before we could even get the tin of paint out. So this week we're tackling the lower half of the porch. But again, I suspect it's not just going to be a case of giving it a light sand down and a lick of paint. There's probably going to be quite a bit more work involved with that. What do you say, Adam?
You try to say the sunrise and sing, but tell me, have you ever danced in the rain? And I could try to just follow the sweat, but I'll never find this anywhere.
That's hollow. Oh my god. Looks like there's nothing behind it. Oh, there's a big crack there. Obviously all the moisture's getting behind it. I really don't want to have to take the render off though. It's quite a big job. But if we just sand it down and paint over it, my concern is, are we just putting a stick and plaster over it, which is clearly what other people have done for decades, or the paint's flaking off, it's cracked, paint over it, give it another lick of paint, do you know what I mean?
You might have to for now because of the amount of other stuff which is going on.
Yeah, we just don't have the time to strip this back and
then
do this.
It.
Yeah. So what are you thinking, just a lick of paint, a quick sand down, a lick of paint for now?
Well, there's patches we're going to have to repair. There, that corner down there, there's a chunk come off. I'll see what is going on here when I get to that bit.
So we are going to literally just stick a stick and plaster on for the time being.
Yeah, because I need to know.
And then revisit it further down the line.
If it's got a damp course. If it hasn't got a damp course, it's just going to continue to do this. Same will be with the boiler house. There's no damp course in that.
Right.
Benji's off in disgust. When are coming back? I thought you want to supervise. I thought you were going to supervise.
Are you supervising, Benji? Last week, to celebrate our 50th episode, we did a Q&A session where we answered some of your questions. This week, we'll jump back to see the questions that we didn't have time to answer in the last episode. Okay, so the next question on the list under countryside and lifestyle is, what are your favourite things about the Scottish countryside?
The midges and the fact it rains 90% of the time in Scotland.
That's your favourite things?
No.
I would say the Scottish countryside, what, as opposed to the English countryside or the Irish countryside, or the Welsh countryside.
Well, it's a different type of landscape that you'd get, say, in Wales or England, because it's different areas, so all the different landscapes are slightly different.
I would say what I prefer about the Scottish countryside is it's largely untouched, rugged, wild. If we travel down south to see family and friends back down to England, the countryside is beautiful, but it can also appear to be a lot more not manicured.
Used.
You know what I mean? A lot more pristine. I don't know. I can't.
Well, I suppose a lot of it, because it's a lot flatter as well, a lot of it's sort of a lot more farming land.
Yeah.
Like yes, okay, it's farming land here, but then it sort of goes up into the hills and it's just like woodlands and...
Because it's so hilly, it does appear to be a lot more rugged and a lot more
untouched,
a lot wild and natural. Yeah. So I think that's one of my favourite things about the Scottish countryside. Okay, next question. Your village is quite small. Where do you go for medical, veterinary, dental, groceries, pharmacy and other services? The village is quite small. We don't have a shop in the village. We have a pub. That's about it. There used to be a shop back in 1849 or something like that. But we're not a million miles away from civilization.
No.
It may appear that on camera, but a 15 minute car journey away, you're in the next village along
and that's
which...
got doctors, post office, shops, butchers, cafes, restaurant, another pub. But then, Edinburgh's only an hour away, Glasgow's over an hour away.
Yeah.
My work's only half an hour away, and from there, there's all the big supermarkets and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you can get stuff delivered here easily.
It's easy to get things. We have all our groceries delivered here, even though there is a supermarket, around 20 minutes drive away or something like that. But most places, in fact all places, apart from the pub next door, all places you have to jump in the car to drive to, but like I said, you're talking about 15 minutes to get to the next nearest village, if that.
Yeah.
Alright, so do you ever miss being close to exhibitions, museums, restaurants, culture, etc.? Can you see yourselves moving back to England, the home counties for easier access? Oh, that was kind of two questions that. Okay, so let's address the first question first. So, do you ever miss being close to exhibitions, museums, restaurants and culture, etc.? No. I think I maybe do a bit more than you because I enjoyed going out to restaurants and cinema and pubs and clubs and things more than you did. You've always been a little bit of a country bumpkin.
Careful.
So I think I did, but as Adam said, we're an hour's drive from Glasgow, an hour's drive from Edinburgh. I work in the city, and I do have nights out in the city occasionally, not as much as I used to. I don't really miss it that much though.
Good, because you're not getting it.
It is nice to go out for a meal sometimes, but it's, do you know what it is? It's also, I find when I used to be out every weekend going for food, going for drinks or whatever, it gets a little bit samey, doesn't it? So it's nice, it's actually nice. I prefer what we have now.
It's just a different type of lifestyle.
Yeah, it really is a different type of lifestyle. I prefer what we have now, and if I do go out, if we or I go out for drinks or food, whether it be friends or work colleagues or with Adam, it's nice to have that as a treat, as a once every now treat, rather than every weekend. What was the second half to that question? Can you ever see yourselves moving back to England? That's a tricky one. My work up here keeps me up here in Scotland. Aside from the fact that I love Scotland, I don't know. Can you see yourself moving back down?
Who knows
to
what's
England?
going to happen?
Exactly, it is a tricky one. If I start getting on your nerves, maybe you'll be off ski back down to England, and me and Benji will have the cottage to ourselves.
I'll be taking him with me.
Next question. are there any worse things about living in Scotland as well as the best?
The weather.
You're not allowed to say the weather. Those are obvious things, the weather, the midges and things, aren't there?
No, but especially because I work outside a lot.
That's more challenging for you because you work
the weather
outdoors.
Is, yeah, when it is bad, it can be horrible up here.
Yeah, when your friends and family down south are basking in the sunshine of a heat wave. Meanwhile, we've got 90 mile an hour gale force winds up here, and it's batting down the hatches because it's raining. And we've had the the fire on a fair few evenings throughout this summer, through July and August. It can be a little frustrating. You feel as though you've been
cheated on summer.
Yeah, you've been cheated on. You've been cheated out of a proper summer. However, I think the charm and beauty that Scotland brings all in its own, it kind of makes up for that, because let's be honest, you don't move to Scotland for the sunshine. You move to Scotland for the beautiful countryside and the scene and the scenery and the and just the atmosphere and the people, of course. I love the Scottish people. Very friendly. How's it going, Adam?
Well.
It's painstaking, isn't it? I had all this when I was trying to do the window as well. It just takes flipping ages. Benji. It's a bit dusty out here for Labradors to be out.
Gee, you're going to get filthy.
Do you want to go back in the cottage? Huh? That took quite a bit of doing.
Yeah.
Do you feel my pain now from when I was doing that?
The area you had to do, the area I've done.
I had to strip it all the way back. You just took the surface off. It needs doing though.
Yeah. There's one area of concern over there. The one problem section is this bit. You can see there's a huge crack.
Oh God. That's worse than I thought. Now you've taken some of the paint off.
And just tapping it, you can see it's all moving. But I think it's just this section here, down to where this crack is here.
Is it hollow behind it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't think it's a good idea to just paint over that.
You can't paint over it. There we go. This is going to make a mess.
No. If you were to paint over that, water will get in and it'll end up causing more damage. Because that's what people have done over the years. They've just painted over it and painted over it. They haven't properly addressed
the issue.
Yep, they haven't properly addressed the issue, and then it's actually done more damage in the end anyway.
And you can see how much it's loose because yeah, you can smell the damp.
Oh, can you?
go and get a better tool. That's nice. Hear the difference?
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god. You can see it's wet.
Sodden.
It hasn't rained for ages.
I'm surprised we haven't got any of our little friends in there.
It's because it's cement. It's, you remember I was telling you that the wood lice, apparently they like lime, which is why we find them in the older parts of the cottage.
Mm.
But because this is cement, maybe they don't like cement. See, anybody who is thinking of cement rendering their property, this is what happens over time. Or older properties anyway.
There's the damp proof course.
So there is damp proof.
Just there. That's good. Jesus.
Oh, hang on. That's not even brick behind there. It's breeze block.
Yeah. It's
So-
because it's new.
So it's only brick on that corner over there.
No, I guess it's brick up to where the damp course is.
Mm-hmm.
There's a damp course, you can just see it there.
And then breeze block
And
above
then
it.
breeze block, breeze. So 1, 2, 3 or 4 layers of breeze block.
But look at this. Even the breeze block has rotted. Look at the corner. Because it's obviously been damp for so long.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. What were your expectations in relocating to Scotland and how much have they been realised? Well, I've been up in Scotland now for about 18 years, 19 years. What was my expectations? I expected it to be a lot more of what I would consider the romanticised version of Scotland in my head. But that's just me. I'm like that in life in general. I have this idealistic, romanticised version of how things should be or are going to be, and then I'm usually severely disappointed when they don't turn out like that. However, because Scotland, you know, if a lot of my time spent in Scotland was in towns and cities. Once you're outside of the towns and cities, then I start to see that charm that I imagined Scotland would have prior to moving up here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? But if you go to a town or a city, it's not like most other towns and cities. They are towns and cities. They are metropolitan. They can perhaps lack the charm that, you know, if you were to disappear for a break up into the Highlands, for example. Obviously, you're not going to get that if you're in towns and cities. But I think for the most part, it did meet my expectations. Apart from the romanticised version that I had in my head, which I often know isn't going to be like that anyway.
Yeah, you still think it though.
I do. What about you? Did it meet your expectations when you moved up?
I didn't have massive expectations. I was just like, we'll just see what it's like and see what happens, and
Just
either
see how it goes.
I'll like it or not.
All right. So next question: how did you decide on the neighbourhood? I think the neighbourhood kind of chose us. I'll be honest. I'd never even heard of this place until we started looking at cottages, and we went and viewed a few cottages before we settled on this one. So it definitely wasn't a case of, oh, I want to move to Crawford John because I've heard amazing things about it. That came
After.
Learning the amazing things about it came after we'd already moved here. So the thing that drew us here, it really was the cottage and the open views and the landscape. We did, before we put an offer in for the cottage, we did go to the local pub next door for a drink and a bit of food, just to kind of, to check it out and see what people were like, and we found them extremely friendly and welcoming. So that made the decision for us, really, didn't it? I've just realised our light's gone off, so if we're sitting in darkness.
Have you not paid the electric bill again?
These lights are on, the light over there's gone off. Just in case you were wondering, why is it suddenly gone a little bit darker? Why did you decide to move to Scotland, and is the cottage your forever home? I moved to Scotland, as I said, about 18 or 19 years ago, and it was for work. Adam moved up to Scotland to be with myself, of course. Why would he not?
It's a stupid idea, wasn't it?
Is it your forever home?
Who knows?
Yeah, again, who knows? It could be it could be our forever home, but you just don't know what's in store, do you?
No.
At the moment, yes, just because of the little kind of life we've carved out for ourselves here in the village, and the sheer amount of time and effort we're putting into refurbishing the cottage. Do you wish you had moved sooner?
To here? Yes, because it's really nice here, but you've also got to get to that stage to be able to move.
Yeah. Moving here sooner wasn't really an option. We only bought our first home a few years ago, which was the new build prior to moving here to the cottage. So that was us getting on the first rung of the property ladder at the ripe old age of 40 something.
The thing is, you have to get on the property ladder and make equity in the first house.
Yeah. So that wasn't an option. I do, however, wish that I started putting the wheels in motion to buy my first home a lot sooner, because
To start saving young.
Yeah, because anyone who is currently going through or has recently went through the process of purchasing their first home in this day and age, it's not easy, is it? It's not easy saving up money for a deposit when
You're paying rent.
a vast amount of your income goes out on rent when you're renting a place. Having to give up on life's little luxuries at an age when you like your little comforts and luxuries, but you need to scale back to save for a deposit. So I do wish I'd started decades ago, maybe when I was in my 20s, putting the wheels in motion to buy my first property. Sometimes, Adam, it really does feel like one step forward, two steps back, doesn't it?
Yeah.
With this cottage. It's like nothing's just a simple task. No. Oh, I'll give it a lick of paint. It's never just a lick of paint.
I hope you're liking this week's video. If you are, please remember to give us a like and subscribe. It really helps. yeah, let's paint the wall. Easy job. Sake.
Language, Adam. You did good. You did good with... You did the best you can with a bad situation. Is that the phrase I'm looking for? I don't know. Welcome back to the next section of our Q&A to celebrate our 50th episode. So the first question in this category, which is personal and relationship. Whose idea was it to start the channel and why? It was definitely not Adam's idea. It was definitely more my idea, but it was actually a colleague at work, a guy called Eric at work, who'd suggested to me when he found out that we were planning on moving to a cottage, that we were going to do bits of renovation. He'd suggested, have you considered creating a YouTube channel about it and documenting it? And my initial response was, who the heck is going to want to sit there listening to us yakking on about our plans with the cottage and everything? So yeah, it was an idea from a colleague at work, and then I got this idea and ran with it, much to Adam's dismay initially. I think you're enjoying it now, though, aren't you?
Well,
he tolerates it. No, he loves it, really. He loves it. It's finally here, the annual event of the village, the Tattie Growing Contest. So as you know, Adam's been looking after his spuds for the last few months. Let's go and see how you get on. I think you might win.
I don't think so.
If you're the only person entering, that is.
So mean.
Let's go and have a look.
Right, let's see what we've got. Right, so that's the first lot, which is a King Edward's.
Are you proud?
Well, we grew something.
Just be proud that we grew something. They're not very big, mind, are they?
No.
Do you think you'll win?
No. Right, I'm going to go and choose best three out of these three.
Okay.
Right, come on then, Benji. Come and help. Not very big, are they?
No, they're not.
Perhaps he didn't have enough water. I don't know. Shit.
Right, Adam, get your potatoes over there on the table. What do you think, Sherry? Do you think he's got a chance?
Good, aye. Good chances. Anybody else want to pop them on the table?
Shampoo in his legs.
Aye.
You know, trying to get in here and swallow them. Wash it out.
Aye.
He's in cut grass.
Well,
he's washed.
they're not the smallest.
We've
Are you
got
sure?
gravel round the back garden. We have got grass and whatever. And as soon
Not
as
big
you
as me.
got back door, you know, garden. Right.
Come on, who won?
I actively avoid.
Ian won.
Ian.
Ian
won
didn't
the
win, he
best
wants to
looking.
hear.
And Robert and Meg,
Technicality, he's a loser.
Robert and Meg won the best tasting.
Well, if Ian's not here, then surely, how can he win it?
Exactly, exactly.
No,
Adam, better luck next time, mate.
Alright.
Alright. Okay, next question in this category. Somebody mentioned that you met on a blind date, really? How did you meet and how long have you been married? We didn't meet on a blind date. We met through mutual friends and we're not married yet.
Get that ring off. Comes off, brilliant. Gee, do you want a ring?
Wow, how different does this look, Adam?
It's a mess.
So I'm just raking up all the gravel away from the stone wall so that when the sandblasters come tomorrow, they can get deep down and get all of the paint off, which is even below the level of where the gravel currently sits. And it'll be easier to keep the gravel clean so that we can just push it all back over once they are finished. Oh, it's weird not having the table and chairs out here now. Isn't it?
This actually shows once it's stripped it all back how
Rubbish,
manky
how rubbish
is.
it looks. I feel as though when people say, "Oh, how lovely your cottage is," it's all it's all the dressing up that you've done with your planters and hanging baskets. Once you remove all of that, you like you said, you realise just how bad it is.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to having the sandblasters come out to strip all this off?
Yeah.
Once and for all. I am quite nervous, mind.
Worried about the mess.
I'm not so worried about the mess. I'm worried about all the repointing we have to do on the front of the cottage.
Well, you work from home, so
I have to work. Just because I work from home doesn't mean I can do cottage renovations all day. It will be worth it in the end though, won't it?
let's see what it's like when it's all stripped off.
I think it'll be quite a transformation. I think it'll be the biggest transformation, exterior wise anyway, that the cottage has had in decades.
Well, hundreds of years.
Because I do feel like for decades and decades people have just literally painted over it.
Well, you've seen how thick that paint is.
Yeah, and like I said, doing that painting over the cracks was like sticking a stick and plaster on. You know, it's a temporary fix, isn't it? But in reality, the issues are still ongoing behind the layers of paint and the render and everything, as we've discovered when we strip it back and realise
It's full of wood lice.
it's full of wood lice, it's damp, the stone's rotten. But I think aesthetically as well, it'll look really nice.
Hope so.
We'll just keep telling ourselves that. All right, next question in this category. Where were you both born? We were both born in England. Any siblings for either of you? Adam has no siblings. I have numerous siblings. Tell us something unexpected about yourself. Shall I go first? I'm trying to think. Some of you probably already know this from previous videos, because I have mentioned it before. But I used to be a kickboxer. I used to train kickboxing and worked all the way up to the grading system. I was one belt below the black belt, and then I had to quit because I moved town and it was too far away. But 5 years I trained kickboxing, and I was actually pretty damn good at it.
So you say yourself.
I tried to get Adam into kickboxing a few years ago when we first met, but you didn't really get into it as much, did you? You had a go, but I don't think you were as passionate about it and as enthusiastic about it as what I was. So yeah, Johnny Boy Kickboxer.
For me, I haven't done it for a while because you don't like cold holidays. But I love snowboarding. I haven't done it for quite a few years yet because you won't go on a cold holiday.
I know. I just feel like it's cold enough sometimes in this country without going on.
It's a different type of cold.
Really?
Strapping a bit of wood to your feet and then just pointing down a mountain and just go hell for leather.
I will.
You don't die.
I will go one day. I will go on a cold holiday, whether it be snowboarding, skiing, whatever, as long as we can also have a nice holiday in a nice warmer climate as well.
You've had a nice holiday in a nice warmer climate this year.
Yeah, but
stop making the excuses.
We would need to have the cold holiday followed by the nice warm holiday in the same year, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, so you've had the hot holiday. You can have a cold holiday, and then you can have a hot holiday next year.
Well, if I win the lottery, which I won't because I don't do the lottery,
you can hire a caravan and go to Bognor Regis.
Post. Benji's got post.
What's that?
Benji.
No way. Benji, how have you got post?
What's this? What's this? I'm excited.
Benji thinks it's his birthday again.
Gee. What's this? Let's see who it's from. Hang on. Hang on. Benjamin. Hi guys, and Benji. Saw this and literally thought of you. I can't think why, lol. I have an inkling that the supervisor's birthday is fast approaching, so I thought I'd send him a little present for him, though he can open it now if he wants. With love from Cornwall, Grunt and Pip.
Oh, how nice. I know who that's from.
Do you?
Yeah, that's one of our followers.
Ah, Benjamin. Should we see what they've got here? Gonna help. Come on, rip it.
What is it, Benji?
Oh my goodness.
No way.
What is that? Can he make...
Oh, it squeaks as well, Benji. What is it? A shark?
Yeah.
That's it. He's off. Is that your new favourite toy now? Are all your other toys blown out?
What have you got?
Oh guys, thank you very much. I think he likes it.
I think so too.
Oh, who's been ragging it around?
Thank you so much, guys, for that. As you can see, Benji loves it. Welcome back to the Q&A. So this category is all about our YouTube journey. First question, how have you found the YouTube experience? Shall I answer this first?
You answer it. Well, you do all the
It's mainly, yeah.
editing and computering stuff.
I found it fascinating. I absolutely love it. I really do. I love that we can share a slice of our lives with you guys, and I love that for some people it brings a little bit of joy, or I don't know, comfort or entertainment. I'm not sure, but there are some of our followers who perhaps, I don't know, let's say for example, I'm videoing us on a walk with Benji, and there may be somebody comments say they love coming on a walk with us because they are no longer able to get out very far, perhaps they are less mobile, whatever. So watching us, it feels, for them it feels like they are with us out on a walk in the countryside with Benji. Comments like that, it just really makes me feel like I'm giving something back. I'm doing something good. I'm doing something positive in the world. I'm making somebody happy. You know, that's the sense of satisfaction gained from that, from making somebody happy. It's a nice feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose I wouldn't say downside to YouTube. Sometimes we'll get one or two strange comments over in the past. I'm not going to go over again because I don't even want to give those the time of day. But just the sheer volume of work involved in running a YouTube channel. I think a lot of people, not mention any names, Adam, forget to understand, or don't understand how long it takes to not only film but edit all of that footage. Yeah, so if I'm sitting up at my computer and it's it's midnight on a Friday evening, and Adam's shouting upstairs, Johnny boy, get a grip, you're so sad. I'm going to the pub, and I'm like, hang on, I haven't finished it.
12 o'clock at night?
No,
I don't think
not
so.
12 o'clock at night, but the work involved with maintaining a YouTube channel and filming and editing, and I'm quite a perfectionist as well. I like it to be just right. I'm not saying our videos are perfect, of course they aren't, but doing that alongside a full-time job as well, it's difficult, it's challenging, and that's why I do often say, if you are enjoying our videos, of course give us a like and subscribe if you haven't already, because you may not realise it, but it does help a lot, doesn't it? So there you go. Okay, we've got one more question that was asked, and this falls under its own category, looking ahead. Actually, we've had a few questions for looking ahead. I haven't managed these categories very well, have I? So anyway, the question is, if you were making the move again, is there anything different you would do differently? So this is a hindsight question. I think the thing I would do differently, and again, it's around the renovations we've been doing to the property. We did all of the research with regards to resolving the damp wall issue and the stonemasons and all the rest of it. What I would do differently, and I always say, there is a saying that my granny used to say, buy cheap, buy twice, right? You love it when I say that, don't you?
Yeah, because it means it's going to cost me more money.
I do think, if there are two things similar at first appearance, similar products or services, one's cheaper than the other, I do think that the cheaper one potentially may not be as good value as you first think, right? And that's the same for services, not just products. And what I'm referring to here is the stonemason work that we originally had on the gable wall. As you know, we had ongoing issues with that. We still had water ingress. My point is, we had a few quotes at the time from different stonemasons, and we didn't go with the cheapest, but we also didn't go with the most expensive, because it's a lot of money. But we thought we did our research, and clearly we didn't do the research enough with regards to the quality that this particular business could offer, and we weren't happy with the work. So in hindsight, we were kicking ourselves, because we were like, we spent an awful lot of money, and actually initially the water ingress was worse than ever. It was worse than before the stonemasons did their work. And every time we talk about it or discuss it or think about it, I kick myself, because I'm like, damn, we shouldn't have went with one of the cheaper quotes. We should have went with, some...
But it's all down to the quality of the people you employ to do the job.
It is.
And you don't know that sometimes.
It is. But tradespeople are often like anything else. You usually, not always, but you usually do get what you pay for. If you buy something cheap, it's going to be nasty and it'll fall apart fairly quickly. If you pay for a premium quality product, you would expect it to last longer than... It's like
9
furniture.
months.
Yeah, it's like furniture. If you buy a piece of flat pack furniture from IKEA. Not that there's anything wrong with IKEA, I love IKEA, but if you buy flat pack wardrobes from IKEA, for example, you do not expect them to last as long as a solid oak wardrobe that a carpenter has built for you from scratch using his own bare hands. You don't expect it to last as long. But obviously, the latter, the solid oak wardrobe, is going to be
A lot more.
A lot more expensive. And that's what I'm kind of talking about when I'm talking about the the previous stonemason work and everything. We didn't go for the more expensive quote. We also didn't go for the cheapest, but we did go for a cheaper quote because it was cheaper by several hundreds of pounds. So in hindsight, I would stick to my values of buy cheap, buy twice. I can hear my granny in my ear now. Buy cheap, buy twice. I told you so. But I think on that note, this is the perfect time to wrap this week's video up, because talking about stonemason work and everything, it will nicely segue into next week's episode, won't it?
And then you might be able to see what we've actually done with that gable wall now.
Yeah, can't wait to show you. So once again, thank you very much for watching and following along with us. We really do appreciate you
Big stretch.
joining us with our and allowing us to share a slice of our life with you. But I think we'll leave it here for now. The three of us wish you all a fantastic week, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.
See ya. Benji, say bye-bye.
Benji, say bye. You've been sleeping through this whole video.
Is it too much? What's he doing?
Does Benji like food? Does Benji want a biscuit? A biscuit? You want a biscuit?
Ready. Go. Biscuits. Biscuits.
Like good. People missed you. They didn't see you because you were sleeping most of the time.